welcome to Make Your Passion Pay. I'm Luann Beekler, creator of the Make Your Passion Pay Playbook, your host and guide on this exciting journey to building joyful and successful work environments. Known as the Little Spark, I've helped countless individuals and businesses ignite their potential through transformational coaching, creating thriving businesses and joyful workplaces. I have experienced the challenges of leaving toxic workplaces and building something better. I bring firsthand wisdom to help you align your work with your values. With insights drawn from working alongside world-renowned leaders and a deep passion for community and connection, I'm here to show you how to lead with joy and purpose. Let's dive into today's episode and start making your passion pay. Hey everybody, it's Luann B with the Make Your Passion Pay podcast. Super glad to be back with you. At the Make Your Passion Pay podcast, we talk about the 6 C's in the playbook to making your passions pay. That would be clarity, connection, community, collaboration, creativity, and of course, commitment. And as you know, if you're a following listener, I keep finding more C's. And today we're going to be talking about cheat codes. Fantastic. With Miss Tena Pettis. Hi, Tena.
Hi.
Tina and I have known each other for a few years now. I don't know. I'm going to get 6.
Way more than that. Way more. I think we met early in some BNI days, and then we've, kind of tumbled around each other in different networking events, and now here we are.
That's the truth. I think that's exactly the perfect language, tumbled around in different events that we have been in and out of together. And recently, Tina spoke at the E-Women Network luncheon, and we reconnected, and I just loved the story that she shared with us that day. So I invited her to come and share with you. So Tena Pettis leads and cheers for women who want to build a business with intention, clarity, and confidence. She meets women where they are, supports their individual needs, and equips them to grow into the next version of who they're called to be. She's the founder of multiple ventures, including the first social media agency in her area. That would be the Twin Cities, right, Tina?
Yep.
And a thriving doTERRA organization and a signature coaching brand rooted in faith, boldness, and truth-telling. And these are the things I love about Tena Pettis. And this is her new book, Remind Them of No One. Oh my gosh, I just love that title.
It was, seriously, it found me. I had been in this zone of saying I was going to write a book for 25 years. Literally, I wrote it in the margin of my Bible, and I said, write a book, and that's all. And then I dated it. And so when I found that, I almost had to look at every single page of my Bible to figure out where I had written it at, because I just remembered it being there. And once I found it, I was like, darn it, that's a really long time. It was 25 years of me saying, I'm going to write a book. And so I say it was my longest, standing item on my to-do list. And I finally did it, but I feel like what needed to happen was that I needed the title. And I know a lot of people say, you find the title after you start writing. It's just not how I work. I needed that title. And so interesting story around that. I knew that my book was going to be around the concept of confidence. So another C for you. So cheat codes, then we got confidence. And so my coach actually said to me, he's like, confidence, that word doesn't often sell, quote unquote, because people are like, and he gave a lot of different reasons, but really what it comes down to is they almost feel like it's not achievable for them if they aren't confident. So it doesn't actually get them excited because it doesn't feel like a pain point. It feels like an unreachable,
unattainable.
Piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I had this I had an online course that I taught for a while called Contagious Confidence or Contagiously Confident. And he was right, it didn't sell that well. And so I was kind of writing underneath this pseudo title until one day, one of my online friends who I'd only met a couple times in person, her and I had a mutual connection coach that passed away really suddenly. Her name was Jessie Lee. And this friend wrote a Facebook post, almost like an obituary of this woman's life. And it was so moving. This woman really touched me, and the connection, all of that was so strong. And at the very end of the post, Kylie, her name is, wrote, "She reminded you of no one." And I was like, boom, that's it. And it was from that moment on, I just like wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And finally I reached out to Kylie and I was like, hey, so I just have to tell you, I mean, it wasn't exactly what she said, but also I felt like odd not telling her at least, so I did write about her in my book, and then small little world, she became a client of mine too. So
that's so great. Yes, such a perfect title. I wanted to say, though, to the audience that I was trained in writing books to come up with the title first.
You were? Okay. Well,
which is interesting, and I think because it allowed you to flow, right? Once that hit home with you, it allowed you to flow the message in alignment with that very concept.
Yes. Well, good. I'm glad I'm not alone, because it gave me that filter, just like, does this remind you of no one? Does this, so yeah.
Yeah. So remind them of no one really means that you should be so unique and so special and stand out there. And I'm not going to use special because we're all special.
Yep.
But that uniquely be your own, who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is, right? And what you told a story about black licorice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So before I tell the black licorice story, I have to say the tagline of my book is revealing your cheat codes to success.
Yeah, you got to tell what cheat codes means.
Yeah. So I have to tell you cheat codes. So the cheat codes bring you back to the 90s, which some of you might already know. But almost every video game has cheat codes built into them. And so I'm not a video gamer, but I loved them when I was little. It was, my brothers and I were all about it. The claim to fame for me was Tetris, but I don't know that they have a cheat code. But like Mario World does. And
we're just dating ourselves. That's
all. Yeah, exactly. And so when I figured out that cheat codes were actually put inside of video games, this was later, in my more adult business life, I figured out that cheat codes were put inside of video games so that the developer of the game could go through the game faster and figure out if there's any like glitches or perfect things. And so I related that to our creator, God, being able to go and put all these little hidden cheat codes in us, and so that we can find them. And I believe that some of us just find them faster than the others. And those of us that own our cheat codes, that know them and own them, we are able to have more confidence. I had a friend ask me about her son, because her son lacked a lot of confidence. And she said, "Do you think confidence can be taught?" And this is when I was working, in this book, and I thought, it can. But I think the key to it is that we have to teach ourselves.
I think it has to be revealed.
Absolutely. Yes. And we have to reveal it, right? And so you can tell me, Luann, all the things that you love about me and all the amazing things, and I can do the same back to you. But do we always believe it? Like if someone's like, "Oh, you look really cute today," and you're like, "Are you kidding me?" I feel like ridiculous. Like you can't even take the love and acceptance of it.
We're terrible receivers.
Oh, we totally are. So we have to believe it ourselves. And yeah, it's helpful to hear things about ourselves that are nice and great, but way better when we believe them ourselves and we reveal them and live in them. So black licorice. This is an entire chapter of my book. It's actually most people's favorites because it's a little bit out there. So how this concept came up for me was my kids and my hubby were in our local candy shop, ice cream shop, and I was just getting my kids to the point where they stopped purchasing the dumb ice cream, the like bubble gum and Superman and all those like nasty, like I don't want a bite of those. They're gross. They're like flavored, blue 40 or whatever. And so I just had gotten them to order the good kind, so I could just like take a scoop out of, or a bite out of theirs and not have to order my own. And my oldest walked up to the front and she didn't even ask for like a sample. She just said, I want black licorice ice cream. And I kid you not, my face was just like, I had to have looked just horrified. And I was actually horrified for her taste buds. Like I was nervous for them because I'm like, how does she even know what this tastes like? I'm always with her when she gets ice cream. How does she know she likes black licorice? Like, what's going on? Well, she ordered it. She had black licorice ice cream. And I thought, how did I birth a child that likes this? And then boom, I my brain works in business. Like that's just it works in like blog mode or reel mode or creation mode. And I thought, wow, this is such a polarizing flavor. You either hate it or you love it. And even Luann, you were in the audience when I asked 40 plus women, love it or hate it. There was a love it section, there was a hate it section, and there were only 2 people in the room that said they'd take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's pretty polarizing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's only 2 people sitting there neutral. Like if black licorice ice cream was the only thing I could eat for a day, I would go hungry. Like I would not have it, right? Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
Yeah, gross. And so now we just spent like 4 minutes talking about black licorice ice cream. That's the point. Is that when things are a bit polarizing, when there's a this or a that, they're remembered more. And so I told the audience that day, and I tell every audience, like, I actually hope that some of you don't like me. Like, I honestly hope that some of you don't like me. Of course, my husband's printing something while we're talking on our podcast.
I can't hear you.
Okay. So we want that idea of that polarizing thing. We want people to remember or not like us or like us. So we all want more people to like us. There's
Right.
that, right? But on the same side is the not like it is going to make the like it like us more. Right? Yeah. So it's like I'm a huge fan of Tena. I'm a Tena fan. And it sounds weird, but like I'm actually okay when there's a group of not Tena fans in the room. And when people filled out my form, I was like, okay, I have to be okay with the fact that there are some people that didn't ask to do a call with me. Like, because I just told you I don't want everyone to like me, right? So
Right.
yeah.
But right, so that it's so many messages in there. It's be your pure authentic self, be you. So, you know, it's okay to set yourself apart. I think the world teaches us to figure out how to get along and be like others. And we both know comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And yet I also remember as a young woman comparing myself frequently to other young women. And in business today, I can get caught up in that and go, oh, Tena's so much more successful than me, you know?
Yep.
And
so
again,
easy. We all do it.
We all do it.
Even if you're comparing yourself to me, I'm comparing myself to someone else, or even you. Like it's wild how it works. But yeah, you're right. It's the thief of joy and so much more than that. Like so many other levels of it robs us of our own success, our own next level. And I have to catch myself doing it. Even though I've done a lot of work in it, I have to catch myself and be like,
here's the
stop
deal.
that.
Right. Yeah. Here's the deal though. That's a big part of transformation, in my opinion. It's not that you're actually going to eliminate these things forever. Yeah. That's impossible. They're human nature. They're built into our system. It's being able to catch that thought, comment, that moment, and reframe it instantly. Or almost instantly. It might not be truly instantly.
But the longer we're in business and the longer we're working on that thing, I think the more it gets closer to instant.
Yeah, I agree completely. And one of the reminders I got, and you just did it again, right, is not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. Because we're taught that we want everybody to like us. No, it's okay, right? If they don't like you. And it even leans towards the thought of, or message of abundance, and that there's enough for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Right? And I don't want everyone as a client. That's the reality too. Is there are certain people I hope I am not going to work with. And that might sound so super mean, but at the same time, like if everyone wanted to be my client, I couldn't do it for one
Right.
thing. And I love referring business out to people, even if they're in the exact same space as I am. If there's another coach that I'm like, no, you are
Better
that's
fit for
because
the
of
other.
exactly what you're working on. So I'm a huge proponent for having one coach at a time. Before we even started recording, we talked about this, like having one coach at a time, because when you have two people like speaking into you, it's too much. Because even if we're in like very close alignment, it doesn't work to have two people and then you're like, shoot, I need to please them and I need to do what they're saying, and
I'm gonna propose additional thought, but first I laughed
yeah.
because my husband is a golf professional, and he always said you can only have one golf coach.
Okay.
Because of the nuances of golf,
Yeah.
the way that he views it, he's going to tell you what to do, and the other golf coach is going to tell you exactly the opposite. So you can
Yeah.
only have one golf coach. But I have several clients who I coach in the realm of culture and employee engagement and core values and all of that, right? So I'm really on the people side. There's the tactical, strategical side in any given profession that I can't possibly know every profession. So the plumber that I work with has another coach who specifically knows the plumbing industry inside and out,
Yeah, I can
right?
totally see that. Like I have
And
my business coach and I have an Instagram coach.
oh, there you
So
go.
like my business coaches doesn't even have Instagram, and my Instagram coach, that's all she coaches on. So
There you
I'm
go.
with you there.
When
Yeah.
they specialize in something like that, yes.
Yeah.
I've had several of those instances in my coaching career. So awesome. Anyway, that was just a side note.
Yeah, I love it.
To remind them of no one. And what you should remember is to be your complete and authentic self. And what you're talking about with the cheat codes, Tina, I think we need to give the listeners some examples, because it really is taking that which makes you unique and using it as your strength. Would that be a fair way to describe it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the fact that you even said the word strength, I have to give some credit to the world of, Strength Finder, produced by Gallup, and there's books and lots of things on it. I'm sure you put a note to it in your show notes. It's such a powerful assessment. And, if you're a strengths coach, you think that one's great. If you're human design, you think that's great. If you're Enneagram, so I just say, like, have a place that you can figure out and learn more about yourself. And so each one of these assessments do that. I mean, I go back in my book, I talk about how, like, Teen Magazine was like, who's your famous, celebrity crush? And it's like, we all want to take these little assessments and figure out who are whatever, or, what we're more like, And so strengths is a great example because I believe, just like cheat codes, they're in our like neural pathway before we're even born. So like God crafted this whole little idea of who you were going to be, that's strengths. And really coupled with that is the idea of cheat codes. So when I dial even more into cheat codes, it's to figure out what that is in your business specifically, and even like putting, okay, I know my strengths. Tell me how I can use these in my business. What are my cheat codes based on that? So I believe that cheat codes come a lot of times from a story or something as well throughout our life, some way we were shaped. And so one example I share in my book is actually with my dad. He is just a networker through and through. Like, he walks into a room, people know who he was. His name is Tim Johnson. I don't know if there's a more boring name in the Midwest. Like, it is, there's so many of them. Even in like our small town of Brainerd, Minnesota, there were 5 in the phone book, 130 Johnsons. Now, that dates me too, right, Luann? A phone book? Yes, this thing that you used to get with every numbers. Yeah.
Okay, some of
So,
our listeners are going, what's that?
yeah, exactly. What are we talking about? So, my dad, though, people knew him and they would just say Tim, even more common name than Tim Johnson, like just Tim. And people knew who it was because he was so involved in our community, in the business side of things. He ran our chamber. He was on the Rotary. I mean, now he's like the head of, I think he's going to kick me for this. It's an Elks or a Legion or something like that in our town. So it's just like people still know.
Aren't listening.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. He probably doesn't know how to listen to a podcast, but I shouldn't say that. He's actually on TikTok. Okay, well, he's on TikTok. Yeah.
So his cheat code is?
My dad's?
Yeah.
Networker. He is just a networker. Yeah. Yeah. And so one of the examples I give in the book is when he would set up, he helped, he owned some businesses, but this specific time he was the manager of a lighting company. And so it was, home lighting, high-end homes and and commercial. And so he was setting up for a big home show in our area, and he set up as soon as he could get set up. And I believe it was the night before, but other people could set up in the morning as well. And they had this, window of time. We've all probably been to a vendor event. We know how they work. Well, he would set up so early in the beginning and have enough help and support from everybody so that he could then be a help to everybody else. And so he's showing up to other people's vendor booths with coffee and, do you need help? Can I help walk anything in? And it's so little, Luann. Like, it's such a little thing, but such a shift to not be crazy and stressed out about setting up, to be a helper, but then also to be smart enough to know that the people in the room at the other vendor tables are more than likely going to be referral partners for you. And even more important than the potential customers that are walking through the space. And so he just got it. He just got it. And that's just like a teeny little cheat code.
So important though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And many of us do those things without identifying them as cheat codes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Or continually doing them.
We're continually doing them.
Yeah, like that worked.
And sometimes, sometimes that's why other people need to tell us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I want you to listen, my audience, listen to what people are telling you about you.
Yep. Like, for sure.
I remember sitting in this B&I training, and there was like 50, 60 of us in the room, and a gentleman was sitting next to me, and I don't recall answering questions or, being bold in the conversation in any way that day. And at the end of the day, he said, "Thanks for sitting next to me. I really love your energy." And I'm like, I didn't do anything. When I think back, it's just my energetic presence that I give off in a room, and he picked up on it just sitting next to me.
Yeah, of course he did. Just by, like, seriously, just probably hearing you laugh at like the presenter and that, like, yes. So yeah, your cheat code would be the energy that you put off when you just walk into a room. It's different than everybody else. So those unique things, whether it's like your black licorice or it's just something you're like innately good at, like those are our cheat codes.
And really think about that black licorice as the extreme, right? Mm-hmm. And you either love it or you hate it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That, my enthusiasm and sort of bull in a china shop sometimes is other people aren't going to like it.
Yeah.
I remember when my massage therapist, who is a dear friend now and was attending my retreats historically, and she came up to me and she said, "Luann, I know what I need to do. I need to become a passion test facilitator like you." And I was like, "Great, let's do it." Here we are. We live in a town of 5,000 people, right? Like, one could think, oh, there's not enough customers for us. Yeah. And of course, the world is way bigger than our town of 5,000. But I also looked at her and I went, totally different personality. Quiet, modest, low key. I'm like, oh yeah, we attract completely different people, and everybody needs the passion test so we can spread the message. So yeah, this passion test, as you know, Tina, is very similar to the Strength Finder. I recommend them both because I call the Strength Finder the scientific methodology at getting at who God designed you to be, and the passion test, the heart and soul methodology. And I'm sure those two tools will drive you towards your cheat codes.
Oh, totally. Yes, I love that. I love that.
if you need to refine them and really understand cheat codes, you can talk to Tina about her viewpoint because, right, we all look at things a different way. And sometimes you hear the right thing from a different teacher. Like I could say it all day long and you don't hear it. And then Tina says it and you go, oh, I get it.
My husband always tells me that. I'll all of a sudden be telling him something that I read in a book and he's like, are you kidding me? Like, I told you this like 5 years ago and now all of a sudden you want to do this? I'm like, he's in the health world. So it's always like, I'm like, oh, I just saw this TikTok. And he'll be like, what? He's like, well, whatever. You're finally learning it.
Right. Think about our kids. I know I say
yeah.
to my kids all the time. I can tell them blue in the face and they don't hear it, but someone else in the world tells them and they're like, oh, Mom, it's super cool. I'm like, I said that a million times, but okay.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
At least
it's all good.
they
Right.
learned. Yeah.
It's all good. Find the right teachers. So Tina, how can my audience find you?
Yeah, my favorite spot to hang out online is Instagram. Love it or hate it, it is my favorite spot. So my name, Tena Pettis, Tina with an E, I'm the only one. I'm not a Tim Johnson. I'm a Tena Pettis.
No one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, thank you, husband, for giving me a cool last name. And my mom for spelling my name uniquely. And so yeah, at Tena Pettis on any channel. You can find me. Instagram, though, like I said, is my absolute favorite spot.
And where can they find the book?
Yeah, on Amazon. So Remind Them of No One on Amazon. There's a link also on my website, which is tenapettis.com. And I just created this pretty cool little tool. I actually played around with AI, which has been a fun little journey for me, but I created my own chatbot that will help you find your signature cheat code. And so you can find that on my website.
Super cool.
On the front page, or you can go to tenapettis.com/cheat code, and it will ask you a few questions. And I've had people tell me, they're like, whoa, you got deep real fast. I'm like, have you ever done coffee with me? Because that's what happens. We go deep. I am not a surface level person. And so a couple things with this cheat code. One is my husband took it and started typing in there, and he like told the chatbot, this is your husband, because it's like, oh, Preston, that's my husband's name. I mean, this is how it kind of got a little creepy, right? Because it has my whole book, pulling information from it. And then he goes, actually, I am your husband. And my chatbot like yelled at him, was like, Preston, well, of course we need to talk about your cheat codes. It was just so great. And a second, I actually learned from it myself. So one of the questions it's going to ask you is one that you've probably heard 100 times, but it's like, until you're actually required to type in a response, I think sometimes we maybe write it down and think about it a little bit. We don't really sit with it. Was, if you were not afraid to fail, what would you do? And my initial response was like, nothing. I do everything I think of. Like, I'm not afraid of failing. I don't think I can fail. And then all of a sudden I was like, that is a lie. I have some things that I've done in the past that were pretty extreme. And one of those was putting on a small business conference. And I've always said, oh, I can't do it again, because when I did it, I had a whole team. I had a whole staff at my agency. I had a dozen people that helped me put it on. And I'm like, oh, Tina, that's your thing. Like, if I could do anything, and I think I would not fail, it would be put on another business conference. And so I just have to say, my chatbot is also teaching me things. So
that is so great. We're going to talk more about that person to person. I think that sounds great. How can I support you in creating that event?
Love it.
That's fantastic. All right. So tenapettis.com, and they can take that little cheat code assessment.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Love it. We'll make sure it's in the show notes. Really appreciate you being on today, Tina. Love it. Love your energy. Glad we tumble around in the networking world together.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Have a great day and follow your passions, my friends. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in to Make Your Passion Pay. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a rating, and share your thoughts in a review. Every listener makes a difference in spreading this mission of joy and purpose. Want to take the next step? Share this episode with your friends, colleagues, or anyone looking to build a thriving, values-driven workplace. Together, we can create communities where passion fuels success. Until next time, remember, when you lead with joy, you inspire greatness. Let's keep making your passion pay.